Got it.
Wow. Hi guys,
No.
this is my first time seeing you today. It's very nice to see you all.
You look so
Mama.
pretty.
I thanks that you did it.
Thanks.
You're
We
welcome.
do it for you.
All for you.
So do you, Padon. I'm liking the plunging neckline.
Yeah, very
Because
sexy.
I was outside, so it was hot.
Oh, this old thing? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
There it is. Yep.
You can see my like three chest hairs.
God damn it. I
Do
was
they have
thinking, oh, we
names?
were done on the shirt thing. Nope, we are still talking about the plunging
What are
necklines.
Nope.
what are our three names for our guys in Strahd? We should call your three chest hairs that.
Oh, Todd, Steven, and Craig. And Craig's a bitch.
Yep.
God, Stephen Craig's a bitch.
Actually, I have in my notes. My notes say, let me see. Craig is needy and the others don't like him. Um, and then later on, I have Craig is a genius, jumped in indigo fire and disappeared.
Trendsetter.
I love it.
Oh, I love it.
God damn.
Because he thought he was immune to fire, so he just jumped in, and we were like, "Oh, that's how it works."
Wait, why did he think he was immune to fire?
He got a god complex for some reason and thought he
Yeah.
couldn't be killed.
Craigs are like
That's
that.
really
Also, we couldn't
understandable.
understand him. Only Squally could because he spoke
Yeah.
wind.
Spoke the wind.
Hey, the colors of the wind, you know?
Exactly. Ooh. Hello, everyone. Hello.
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 Hello. Welcome to this wonderful session for the FSF campaign. I am your neighborhood dungeon daddy, Liam McKinnon. It's wonderful to see you all here. And these are the wonderful players of the Fuckstick
Hello.
Fuckers.
Hello.
Yes, they're very wonderful. They're very wonderful. They're very good, and we're all very, very attractive people. We're all what is that? We're all really, really, really ridiculously good looking. So yes,
Nice.
you're welcome is what I should say. You are well. I was about to say congratulations, but you are welcome. Alrighty. Yeah. So right before we start up the game today, what was I thinking about? Yes. So I'm still dealing with the last little remnants of the smoke, throat lung that I was dealing with, last week. So, still dealing with that. Gonna try to, see how it goes. But I did breath work courtesy of David Wilson, so we are good. Wilson method. Check it out. It's good. Yes. What else? Oh yeah, I made this announcement before, but coming up next week and the week after, we're gonna be off for a little bit just because I'm gonna be doing some acting work. I'm gonna be doing something at the Walterdale here in Edmonton, and I'm also going to be in Calgary doing a film series, doing a shoot for that. Woo woo! I don't know what I can say about it. All I know is that it's grow my beard for it. So yeah. We will be trying to get some stuff going with some other people because we are going to be having Ben join us sometime soon. In fact, Ben might even join us tonight. We shall see. Exactly. That's all the sounds Ben will make. Exactly like that. I think that's what everybody tunes in for, to hear just the
Hacking.
gross hacking that happens. I felt so bad after the last session. I was just like, oh, just popping.
Oh, hardly noticeable, really.
Really? Okay, phew. It was my neck felt it because I was turning it so much into my
Right.
goddamn. Okay, so I don't think there's much else I have to describe for that, but I did want to let people know big stuff that's coming up, and boy, I really hope that I get this going and get this up online before this is done because I will feel silly. The Novice DMing summer camp is happening again, guys. Woo woo! We have 2 venues happening where I'm going to be instructing. It's going to be at Warp 2 and Warp 3 Comics. Somebody give me like a sick like music beat to dance to. Otherwise, I'm just like boom, da, boom, 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 boom. There we go. Yeah, keep that going. We are going to be running it in July. It's going to be happening at Warp 2 Comics and Games. It's going to be happening Mondays and Tuesdays from 11 to 2:30. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays at Warp 3, it's going to be happening at 4:30 to 8 p.m. Woo-woo, yeah. And we got confirmed for a 3rd venue that's going to be happening at Authentic Dungeons, where 2 DMs that I have met and are wonderful people, Angelica and Jeremy, they are going to be helping me out to run the camp and some other locations. So we're really excited to do that. I will also potentially, we're going to see, got to confirm some stuff, but on Free RPG Day on June 24th, June 24th, I'm going to look at my calendar very quickly to confirm it's June 24th. Yeah, June 24th, I will potentially be running at Authentic Dungeons, running a one-shot in either the afternoon, evening, or both, depending on how my work books me. So we'll see.
Want to do that.
Yeah, and the very last thing is I've been confirmed to be in a Fringe show. Woo! God dang it. So yeah, Edmonton Fringe Festival, going to be in the show. Also waiting to get confirmation, all of the information there. Yeah, that's everything. So very, very excited with all the stuff happening. Yeah. Does anybody else have anything to say? Because I feel like I talked a lot.
That was outstanding. That's it.
Thank you.
You did talk a lot.
Thank you.
But you
Thank
know what? You did eloquently when you did so it's all good.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you so very much. Oh, I'm so very happy. All right. Never do Kennedy. All right. So with that being said, we'll get dropping into the session right away here. But first, does anybody around here have any questions whatsoever? Character-wise, stuff-wise, story-wise, anything? Cool. Well, that's
Nope,
the case.
I think I asked you my stupid question already.
Yes, you're very stupid, very, very okay and good to ask a question that I'm very glad that you did ask. Okay.
Yep.
Well, if that's the case.
The quace?
We're going to dive into this question for the Forkstick Forkers. And we're back. So, when last we left off with our group of soul-loving, realm-jumping adventurers that we so lovingly call the Fuckstick Fuckers, you guys were in the process of getting the fuck out of Yasgard. You guys had all managed to piss off Talos, the god, the elder god of the storm, and also
Monika
kind of,
Who
pissed
did?
off Talos.
Sorry, who did?
correction.
Nyxi pissed off Talos.
Hey, group effort.
Nyxi pissed off Talos, the elder god of storms,
Thank you.
and also brought his forces because to go to the champion realm of Yasgard, where Yannick, the great bronze dragon, had been within their sex palace, or their palace that had turned into like a big orgy space. You guys were with the beholder Mihivlock, which you guys are lovingly referring to as Meave, and you were all in the process of trying to escape. This process was done by Dajini, which you guys had used to teleport into an archmage's, like an arch enchanter's sanctum. You guys were cast the heck out of some spells, got petrified, got unpetrified thanks to Meave and spells. And then you guys all went through the process of getting these spirit stones attuned to yourselves so that you would be able to have almost like manifested corporeal beings that would be able to travel through the inner planes of existence, namely the plane of air, which is where you were about to head after
The airplane.
facing, retreating with Meave, getting struck by a meteor that was just a giant island, and then making your way to a massive portal, like a gate that was set up that goes into the plane of air. Talos had closed that gate, causing you all to instead move to a different plane. Even though it was like almost shifting it entirely. And you guys ended up in the astral plane, wandering through here after being kind of rattled a little bit as Meave started to create this reality that was almost like otherworldly. You all kind of zipped through the astral plane after getting hit by a sea or like a storm within the astral realm. Upon this kind of traveling, you had wandered through to this kind of scattered area of multiple different like fragmented realities that were floating through, and you guys had encountered a creature that had expressed they could potentially guide you or was giving kind of guidance into this realm. The guidance that you had received consisted of Nyxi being told that they could be able to manifest their dreams, to be able to give them a reality to explore. And in so doing, Nyxi was able to create a reality all their own. A reality, I'm just checking something quickly here, a reality that essentially was one of utter peace, harmony. Yeah, just positive, like there was no war, there was no constructed, or there was no like Armageddon. There wasn't anything to fight after. There wasn't even a of any a concern or fear of any kind of warfare whatsoever. In this process, Nyxi, in your kind of relaxed state of being here, you've manifested a thought of your brother and your father, your brother Byron. And in doing this, you had also manifested their occupation, weapons manufacturing and dealing. In this, the reality that you had constructed flatly rejected these images, these projections that you had created. And in doing so, it kind of caused you to feel shaken within this reality, and then hostility kind of started to brew within the other manifested projections of creatures that were in your reality. The creature you were with kind of like settled you down a little bit, and you all continued to go through this process of exploring Nyxi's reality to find Meave and then to travel home, essentially. Traveling home for this. Now, this is going to be very weird because I'm really not going to be the one who establishes a lot of stuff. I will be the one that kind of maybe expands on a few things. There might be some things I establish and grow, but really, we're going to be starting up a lot of this with whoever is kind of at the driver's seat of the reality constructions here. This is the person who's going to be making the actual reality that you guys are able to journey through. Let's see here. I'm gonna not look at that because that's gonna stress me out. Instead, I'm just gonna try to ease into it. Nyxi, presently, you are the one that is driving this whole experience through the astral world. Now, I want to ask you kind of the establishment off of the dream that you set for yourself. But first, I want to address something regarding the creature that you are seeing with you. The creature that you guys have been with, you've taken this in a little bit, and one of the things that kind of clicks back into you is an individual that has taken a lot of command and charge. This kind of like yellowish skin creature with the long black hair and the tattoo markings, they are a creature that at first, you're like, there's a little bit of familiarity potentially here in their expression of command and also in how they address you very sternly, directly, but also trying to lend a hand. It's a little bit of a different flavor. This reminds you a lot of General Karieth, the commander and the great general that was leading Talos's army. And I'm not just saying that it reminds you of that because of their maybe like tone atmosphere. They remind you of that from the species. This is the same species type that the general was. So, just wanted to get that clarification here. Also, I wanted to ask you, as you are going through this space, after the incident you kind of had, I want to kind of understand and establish like where Nyxi is at. And first, if Nyxi is still going through this dream reality, this almost oasis type thing of constructed peace.
Yeah, she is. She especially after being spooked by like her brother and her dad and everything, and being told to pretty much just, you know, the further we can only go as far as my thoughts go, essentially, and to like keep calm. I think Nyxi kind of got a little spooked, and she's trying to keep herself as calm as possible, and still doesn't really want to venture out too much right now. In her thoughts anymore, just because she doesn't want to hurt anybody. So yeah, she's kind of just, we're walking the town pretty much in a safer type of environment. So
as you kind of go to that place of like safety but trying to keep away from people, you find yourself wandering down a side alley, kind of like off between these different buildings, away from a lot of the public. Allowing yourself to ground, you see the individual standing straight up, addressing you. And she utters, "There's a lot for you to have to take in here. There's a lot of different rules that you're going to have to follow, and there's a lot of different things you're going to have to understand. What you are experiencing and able to manifest takes on a tremendous amount of power. And while you are exploring the different realities that you can manifest, it's important for you to remember that you are at the beginning stage of it. You're at the beginning stage, which allows you to access your dreams, your desires, your potentials, and your possibilities, where you yourself are in control. You have to remember that you are in control of this. Say that.
I am in control of this. The whole thing. Got it. Perfect. 100%.
Because at a certain point, you are going to be coming around to creatures that are going to have a stronger sense of will than you. And those creatures are going to try and exact their control into your world. Now, you are not going to be in control of other beings that are simply able to come through here. The projections that you manifest, that is something you could potentially have control over until you lose your grip. Until you lose your actual sense of self. It is important that you have yourself grounded in yourself as well by focused and clear understanding of your own realities and your own trajectory. You need to have that aim. You need to have that understanding. So I'm going to ask you two things. What is your intention? Where are you going?
She's not looking at them. She's kind of looking around, thinking. And she's like, I want to go. And I look at Zummyar and Faelyn and just like, well, we want to go, but what I want to go is a place of safety, because I feel really safe right now. Like with you, sure, with them, sure, but we've kind of gone through a lot of stuff, and I just want to feel safe. Kind of just want to go home, to be honest.
So the intention is to be able to go home. Now you need to remember this. The intention is traveling home. Safety. Why do you want to travel there?
Well, when I go home, eventually I'll be able to see the people I care about, not just the people I traveled with, but others. And I also can protect the people that can't protect themselves that we left behind. So if we go back, I can create a safer place for everybody.
So
And it's not safe where we just came.
So the motivations sounded are one that is part of a selfish action, the other one that is part of a connected action, one that is shared with other individuals. Now, here's what you need to remember. When you're traveling with others, you want to focus on the one that focuses on everyone. Because if you focus on the selfish action, then the projected beings will keep you safe. They will not keep everyone safe. So you need to be focusing on something that allows you to protect everyone that is with you.
Understood.
So what are you focusing on in your motivation?
Motivation is to keep everybody safe, get everybody home. Okay, we can do this. Yeah, we can do this. We got this. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. She just takes a big breath.
You expel, and as you close your eyes and breathe out, where is safety for you, Nyxi? And I'm not describing simply a way to get you straight home. I'm asking you, what is the immediate thought of safety for you?
Reading my history books in the wagon of my brothers and my dad's wagon when we were traveling. I felt really safe. Felt very calm, just traveling along the roads. Yeah.
You open your eyes and find yourself moving down in a wagon that is parked, tented, and has like kind of a little bit of like a kind of ready-made shelving units that are like kind of concealed and actually protecting of actual or protected and locked so that they can protect the actual contents that they have, which are actual books. You are locked inside of this wagon and you are moving. All of you are presently in here. You see as the creature staring at you, you're all kind of like also in like these cloaks, allowing yourselves to kind of be like under concealment a little bit. The creature looks at you, Nyxi, and says, one of the things that's very important for you to understand about myself is that I can only allow myself to guide you to a certain extent. And I will be here to help you only in dire situations. Ultimately, you are the one that needs to guide things. And I want you to understand this too. If things get too bad, things get too uncontrolling, essentially, when you're diving into your realities, you're going to be exploring deeper and deeper and deeper into yourself. When you get to yourself, you are going to get to a deeper rooted core, a core that is probably going to turn itself against you because how you perceive yourself is not your ideals. It is not your desired dream. It is a complete opposite shift. And when you're considering that, it can be scary. It can cause you to lose yourself, lose your grounding, and then allow you to lose your consciousness and subconsciousness connectivity. Do you understand?
Yes.
So, having said that, I'm essentially coming here to protect your consciousness and subconscious and your superconsciousness to make sure that they can all stay within the same triad. If any one of those points breaks, then you yourself will be lost within this entire mixture of formless thought. My job here is to make sure that I can catch those thoughts from you. When those realities become too much, you let me know, and I will be able to take them off from you. I will be able to keep them contained, and I will make sure that you do not have to deal with those directly.
Okay.
As you are all going down the wagon, you feel it kind of like moving and shaking, but you feel yourselves be focused, grounded in this moment. As you are in the wagon, is there anything you guys engage with? Anything you guys talk about? Anything that is going through your minds right now?
Zummyar's really quiet, honestly. Just kind of taking everything he sees around him that's going on in the best that he can. And trying to just kind of let Nyxi do her thing here without being distracted.
Faelyn is fascinated with this because she's sort of musing on with a little bit of meditation that she's done. It sounds like one of these sort of introspective type things, and she's kind of curious if this is anything that she's ever touched whilst doing her little bits of meditation, learning from the elves. If this is a plane that the elves have ever visited, if any of the master elves know about this.
Mm-hmm.
She's just curious. So she's watching. Trying to learn.
The wagon trip itself allows you to feel covered and secure on your way, because the actual wagon itself is the representation of safety. It allows you also to be completely blocked out of thought. It allows for you to be caught within an insulated area. Nyxi, I need you to make a... I'm going to say... Go ahead and make a... I'm going to say go ahead and make a intelligence and a charisma saving throw. I'm going to say make them both. Intelligence first, charisma second.
17 and charisma, thank God, because I know my charisma sucks. 17 as well, but my charisma worked out.
Equal parts of understanding and reason, and perception and perspective, and balance of self at the same time. I'm going to ask you, what is it that Nyxi kept herself protected from? And more importantly, what was it that was perceived by her to make this a place of protection?
Well, part of it was her naivety. She really, she kind of knew what her brother and her father were doing, but she didn't know the scale of it because they did keep her quite sheltered from the truth. And so all she knows is that they made like farming materials and like those kinds of things. And even though she did witness them being like half weapon, half tool, they never really let her believe anything other than the fact that it is to help people. So when she was in the wagon, what made her feel so safe and protected is sometimes she'd like poke her head out to talk to her brother about this new book and stuff like that. And she didn't really see like the soldiers when they like passed by the wagon, when they told her to be quiet and stuff like that. She didn't really realize why. She just thought that it was almost like part of the game growing up. And so for her, she just felt safe and protected because she was with her and her dad, her brother and her dad traveling. That's why she felt safe. She felt safe having those bonding moments and not really realizing what was 100% going on. So it was kind of like, if she knew what was going on, I don't think she would have found that to be her most safest place, you know?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
So all of that going into your mentality, you're in a place where it's like equal parts, you are protected, and you're still protected by that concept of naivete. It's like your mind is allowing you to go back to that place of, I don't know what's going on, and I don't have to because I'm not a part of it, and there's no part of me that questions that.
Yeah.
It's not even like an understanding where it's like, oh, I'm aware that if something bad happens, then, or if I think about something, I'm going to stir these emotions. It is that you are just able to, in your mind, go to a place where you're like almost completely naive, to the point where you feel yourself back in your old body before you ever entered into the outer plane of existence. You're small, unexposed to the world, structured self. You are back to that sense of youth where anything was possible, and yet you never had to think of anything beyond darkness, like anything that was going to be perceived as malicious intent in the world. You didn't have to perceive any of those energies. As you arrive to a point, the wagon stops. And I'm going to check something here. No. The wagon stops. And as it stops, you don't feel a jostle. It just eases to an end. The person next to you says, "Well done. This has taken us as far as it can go. Now, stepping out of this, you need to access a level deeper."
Okay.
So what goes beyond safety for you?
Like the next step, or I'm just trying to understand. Like the next step, so I'm still feeling safe, but just like slightly less safe? Or like really not safe?
What goes beyond this wagon for you?
Oh, like what's usually on the other side is usually we'd meet with other merchants. Sometimes like the rock gnomes. The rock gnomes are my favorite because I got along with a lot of the kids. And we'd be making their dealings with them. So outside this wagon usually would be the other people that we would sell our farming equipment to.
You feel as they open up the back harp of it. As they do, you are able to move out, and you find yourself in a massive, like you are in the midsection of a deep opening in the earth. Like hundreds and hundreds of feet above, you can see that the sun is beating down into this excavated site. And there are bridges and pathways, and there's a spinning central area here where there's a lot of main traffic, where you just see a bunch of rock gnomes and deep gnomes intermingling and passing off different equipments and like hardware, tools, gems, crystals, minerals. You can see that they are mixing and passing off all these different components. You're welcome to begin to continue the journey.
Nyxi knows exactly where she's going because usually her father and brother send her to like one or two rooms to kind of wait if we're doing like a huge dealing or if they're going to have some meetings. They're having just like, if we're just doing dealings, well, three. If we're just doing like simple dealings, I stay in the wagon. If we're doing ones that might take us like an hour or two, I go to a little hut that's outside, a little hut kind of area. And if they're going to be having meetings and we're staying the night, we usually end up going down below earth, where I usually would read and chat with a lot of like other young kids. So Um, but Nyxi actually is a little excited right now because then she gets to like almost relive this, and so she instantly is just like, follow me, and then she like almost rushes past everybody to go to start to go underground.
All right.
She knows exactly where she's going.
You all see Nyxi step out of the actual carriage and has a spunk and an energy to them that is youthful. And they almost seem youthful in themselves. She begins to guide you all down to move deeper. Nyxi, once again, I'm going to have you roll that intelligence and charisma save, but I'm going to have you roll the charisma with advantage.
Oh. Well, I wish that was for my intelligence. And that is a 7. And then 17 again for my charisma.
Okay. Your sense of being is feeling really grounded here. You're feeling yourself walk down this actual path, leading the group with a youthfulness that allows you to feel like you're there again, that you're back home. And you feel yourself almost like embracing your own youthful body, that you are back there. Like for you, this is now reality. You're back home. You feel like you are back home now. Like the wagon cart was the journey to safety, and now you are back home. You've gotten there for yourself. And you begin to make your way down. You're heading down because you know, heading deep down, there is the potential for new adventures. And as you're walking down, you are passing by all of the deep gnomes, and you see one of them in particular that you recognize, who is kind of like checking off a small little like pad, not just like with charcoal pencil, but actually like using this kind of like specialized mechanism that he's able to cross out certain things, and then the script kind of disappears, and then new script, like illusionary script, kind of comes down, and they have to cross it off again, and they just kind of begin to move through, or not illusionary script, but arcane script, as it kind of like reforms and keeps filing down. This is on tour. You recognize this is the deep gnome individual, silent, stoic, little resolved in themselves, or a little bit disappears into themselves, but this is a person who works hand in hand with your father.
I kind of walk by him and kind of wave and just like, Hunter, hello.
He gives you his standard, just kind of like blank expression, goes,
and I just and I just keep walking because he's always like that. And she pretty much is skipping at this point because she almost feels like lighter. Like this, it feels good, you know.
In this moment, the reality you all see this change is all of a sudden you hear a voice call out from the actual deep pit. Goes, well, we work all day, we work all night, we make sure that we come on high, we come on down, we say a prayer, we hold the shaft and we let that essence flare. Hey, hey! And you guys see that the entirety of the gnomes, the dwarves, the humans, every single creature that is within this place begins to actually strike up a tune of merriment and jolly. And they're almost like passing off like the baton to each other. When somebody tosses a mineral, they pass off the song. It feels as if like the entirety is a wonderful chorus of harmony, unity, and everyone is synchronized in joy and excitement of being at their jobs and being home.
I'm pretty much just like tugging on Faelyn and Zummyar's hands as I'm like skipping. I'm just like, just having a great time. Just keep going. And I start like pointing things out as well. I'm just like, like, over there is where I almost broke my foot, but I didn't because my brother caught me. And over there is where I threw a rock at someone who's not so nice to me.
I deserved
Um,
it. And you just see that person right there with a giant old like kind of welt on their head as like there's a like somebody's tossing like rocks onto their head to make sure that they feel it, and they're just like doing it, but it's like adding percussion.
That they did. They did deserve it.
I'm still just like not saying anything, still just taking everything in, but I'm following her, and if she's holding my hand, that's fine. I'm just kind of like,
Just dragging them.
Faelyn is
I'm
just
smaller now.
fascinated with what's happening here.
You all continue to go deeper and deeper into the mines and begin to see the other creatures that are here. Like you guys begin to see that there is a like a levitating or you guys see that with the song as it strikes up, you guys see passing by all these creatures. They're saying, we work in day, we essence extract, we take it all, and we give it back. We make sure that the world is fair. And then you see kind of rising up out of the hole, wearing these like boots with wings. You see this giant, like stone giant come through, holding a giant boulder that they split, and there's minerals inside. And you just hear them in their deep bass. We make sure that the work is always done, and we search where all the work can be found. We carry off our duties, and we make sure that we do and shake our booties. Do it, gang! Come on, let's go! And you just see that everybody starts to shake around and do a 8-minute full choreographed dance number. It's wild.
I'm having a great time. And I'm over here like, shake your booties, guys, shake your booties.
Shake the booty, yeah, shake the booty, now shake the booty now. Everybody's doing that. As you all get deeper and deeper here, Nyxi, you find there's a special area within the mine itself. There's this one area that you remember was marked off. It is a place that's still like open. It has like these kind of like specialized runes that are crafted there. Go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
12.
12. All you know is that these runes themselves are magical and that they were put here specifically by your father. Your father was able to get these glyphs actually marked into the sides of the actual stone. Again, you don't know necessarily a lot about them, but you know he himself personally made sure that he walked through them.
Yeah. I'm just like, you guys want to go in? Yeah.
Yes, please.
And Nyxi goes in, and is there like any buttons, or do I have to like, does she remember how to kind of like work the runes at all?
The runes themselves, no, it's like you're able to pass through them, and that's like it's an open cavern, like it's an open hallway basically here. There is a special door that kind of moves off because as you move down the corridor, you see that there's a special door, and then there's like kind of like it keeps going deeper and deeper because there's rooms and people can kind of look in on the rooms at this point. Let's see here. Now, as you begin to come deeper here, Nyxi, I want you to now paint the picture as your mind goes here. The reality for yourself, this is less of an element of, again, you're perceiving this to be real. So I want you to be very, very clear here as to the kinds of meetings that your father and your brother had when they were kind of off in this space, when they were speaking to different members of their organization at the time, not knowing what they were talking about, but everyone else around you could perceive the understanding of what is happening here.
Yeah, well, Unfortunately for Nyxi, a lot of the time she was ushered out of the room, but as she got older, they stopped doing it as much, but unless it was super serious, they kind of let her stay around for a little bit for a little of them, or sometimes they remember that she's there and then they're like, oh yeah, like ask somebody to take her away. But in the few moments that she did perceive, it was usually there was a giant table with like a map and stuff, and there'd be deep gnomes, rock gnomes, even some humans. There'd be usually a lot of different beings there of all types. And it was always like a very serious atmosphere, especially because we would go from maybe like a happier one or a lot of like neutral kind of environment to a very serious environment. Not always so much anger, but just very like serious, you know? And they would always be talking about expanding and going further. And some of those trips, how they said they would get more and more dangerous sometimes, especially if we had to go through like mountains or had to go through certain cities. And they involved whether my brother and my father would be the ones going, or if a different group of people would be going instead. And one time, actually, Nyxi had to stop the meeting when she got a little older, and they said that they would go. Their brother specifically would go by himself for a trip, and she didn't like that. She didn't know why, but she didn't like the fact that someone associated with being dangerous, and he said he would go by himself. So she interrupted the meeting, and they all were upset with her and kicked her out, and she couldn't go into another meeting for a while. So they did definitely keep her in the dark a lot of the times, and the few times they did let her know, she just wasn't particularly happy about it. So she definitely liked to stay more naive. She actually sometimes chose not to be in those rooms eventually, if she knew that she wasn't going to be quite happy about them. So she would rather stay in the other rooms reading and talking to other people and kind of being in that naive state. But sometimes her curiosity would get the best of her, and then she'd get in trouble and then sent to the other room again. So yeah, it was like a very mixture of a lot of things because it happened for many, many years. So that meeting room had very many different experiences with Nyxi. And so she associates it with seriousness. Sometimes she was a little upset in there, but also a lot of curiosity. It was a big one. Trying to figure out exactly what goes on in there all the time, you know?
Mm-hmm. No, exactly.
Just a lot of different emotions. It was never like one type of emotion. It was a bunch.
Yeah. This is a very interesting moment because as the door is, you guys feel the state-of-the-art door open up as Nyxi gets closer. And as Nyxi does, the first person you see, Nyxi, is your father. Your father, Glint, is right at the base there between two heavily armored guards, kind of off to the side. He looks and says,
"Oh, thank you. Good on you. Good on you for making sure that she's safe."
And she's looking at you, Faelyn, you, Zummyar, and the other individual you are all with. They look at you and says,
"Good for you, keeping you all safe." Nyxi, come on in. We're just having a meeting right now.
Glint leads you all to that same table where you can see the map set up. You still come skipping on in. I will add two different kind of individuals that are here. Well, three actually. There are also orcs present, half-giant creatures, as well as creatures of a different skin color that are both kind of reddish in hue, and another one that is kind of like palish blue, cloudy even. Still that same mix of deep gnomes, rock gnomes, dwarves, and humans as well. All of them looking a little bit different from just standard mortals. But at the table, you can see the map that is displayed. Anyone can give me a nature or a history check here.
Can we all do it?
I would do history
Mhm.
Faelyn would do history.
Well, my history's +6.
Oh, then Faelyn won't.
Are we all rolling or is it?
Anyone who wants to.
Oh, lower.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
You
gonna
just
do a
pick
history
one of
check.
the skills, though.
That's a 19 for history.
19 total? Okay.
Faelyn gets 13 for history.
okay. I'll do nature just to see the other side, but I only got 10.
Okay. Nature is pretty straightforward, I guess, of this. Looking at the actual structure of the map, it's a little difficult because it's not really broken down in ways of like continents. You see a little bit of the central focus of the map is Parelia, the actual world itself. However, the mixture of the map you can see it doesn't actually have the main continents on Parelia. In fact, it actually has a sheen over it. And the map, it has kind of these like illusory images kind of like around it to make it a little bit more three-dimensional off on the actual surface. Now, Nyxi, you yourself know a little bit more about this, but I will say for Faelyn, you know that the kind of illusory effect over the center of the map is representative of the echo planes. This is a representation of the Feywild itself. And you know this sometimes from the actual map readings that you will have as well, just from your own history, that whenever you are perceiving something, you will notice that it will be reflected more in how it pertains to the Feywild actual, continent breakdown as opposed to the material plane itself. Some map makers in the Feywild have the material plane because they like to know what that balance is. Many ones in the Feywild will keep it in that echo plane status, especially where you're from. Now, what you also perceive is that there's a lot of it appears that the elemental energies are represented here. Nyxi, you know that this map is a cosmology of Parelia itself. This is the actual cosmology that is structured within Parelia's own multiverse for easy access to the planes as they pertain to the openings within Parelia. It is a map of destinations that your family frequents and visits. As within the family structure, you find that your history and your mind go to a place where you start to educate yourself a little bit faster here. That simple, naive nature is now informed with a grown-up's understanding of reflection. So you look at this map, it's like, yeah, here we are, but you start to know that is a place that my dad has a deal with these with the air elementals, and they have a Genasi here as a representative. You know that the fire, the plane of fire is represented here as well, where they are dealing with many of the mercantiles. You know that you have dealings in Yasgard, and you have dealings in some Arborea with some celestial beings. There's a lot of outer plane activity here, and a lot of the representatives are featured. They've all gathered here because they are discussing the next maneuver. And your father Glint goes,
all right. So we need to make sure that we all understand that in the presence of the actual gate traveling, the new order has been established as such. Because we have this structure, we need to make sure that you're here, the representatives of the planes of Arborea, we need to make sure that you allow for the actual access passage. If we're not able to do this, and I'm tired of having to bring this up every time we meet, if we have to have another sit-down discussion talking about why we need the access to allow for actual divine messengers to not have to search the actual wagons, and then I don't know what we're having a conversation about here. I'm struggling to know why the rotations keep happening, why we don't have the same angels at the same checkpoints, and why we are not instantly notified of this. One of the humans looks at you, looks at your father, and says, Gronk Zalimat, I wish you to understand that it is important for the actual Arborian people that we don't simply have all access. We have to follow the divine law. Well, of course, divine law is something you have to follow, and I understand that you have to listen to the services of a god at some point, but keep us in the loop, why don't you? I mean, we're literally the ones who are trying to like armament your people so you can literally fight off devils that are breaking from the blood war. I don't know what's so hard to do that. I mean, if you want to try to make your own kind of like cosmic cannons, then I'm certainly not opposed to the concept, but I have to make sure that we're following a deadline on this whole subject. I get sick and tired of talking about this.
Damn right, Dad.
Yes, thank you, Nyxi. Thank you. It's about time. So let me explain in very clear terms. If we're not able to get these through the divine gate, then no one's getting any cosmic cannons anymore. And I, for one, like making those things. Okay? I've seen them rip the faces off of a Garistro, and I just want to say that's a fun thing to watch. The entire room goes a little bit like kind of quiet and understanding. Yes, fine. But there is something you notice, Nyxi, in this. The presence of the guards around you. I need you to make another charisma saving throw with advantage and an intelligence saving throw, but with disadvantage.
Can't believe you hit me with disadvantage. Hold on. Because that's... Oh, God. Okay. Well, intelligence is 2. It would have been a 17 if you didn't do disadvantage. And charisma is 13.
Charisma's 13. And then what's the total of the intelligence saving throw?
Oh, right. I forgot to add. My bad. 5.
Okay.
Not that it helps much.
Well, hold on a second. You also add your proficiency bonus to intelligence, right? Saving throws?
All right, I forgot about that one. So technically that would be a 8.
Okay, so you have an 8. Okay, good.
Forgot about that. Yes.
So you're still perceiving this very much in that it's reality. Part of you gets a little bit shaken at one point here in the conversation, only because in the concept of talking between extra dimensional traveling here and the actual like crossroads of the actual black market that your father is like working, the cosmic market, your brother is not present.
Yeah, where is he? Can I say that? I'd be like, I'd just like walk up, tap my father on the shoulder.
Now let's talk about all about making sure we can actually deal with these meteorite structures, because god dang it, one of those things is going to land on somebody at one of these points, and we've got to make sure that we know exactly what... yeah.
Where's my bro?
Nyxi, we'll talk about that in a moment, all right?
No, I gotta know. He's not here, and usually he's right beside you. Where is he?
Nyxi, we will talk about this in a moment when we're not conducting business with our business partners and relations, okay? You understand?
Well, how much longer is the meeting? Because I know these meetings. They can go on for 6 hours of nonsense.
Well, we are going to probably go on for about the 6 hours, Nyxi, because we've only been at this one for the last 45 minutes.
Another 6 hours. Okay, what is... And Nyxi like puts on kind of like a business... Looks at the map. Okay, what is it that we are trying to discuss? Can I solve it within 5 minutes? And I go, Faelyn, get over here. Can we solve this in 5 minutes? Because I feel like this shouldn't be a 6-hour discussion. Zummyar, you also get over here. Yes. This cannot be a 6-hour discussion.
Faelyn's like doesn't quite know what to say.
I need a summary of what you're trying to discuss.
Faelyn and Zummyar, I want you guys to make charisma saving throws.
Okay.
You're welcome. Join me.
Faelyn gets a 14.
All right. When Payton comes right back, we'll see what he got.
I see him. He's frozen.
Faelyn's just doing her best. I should mention that Faelyn's, for better or for worse, when Faelyn saw the orcs, her right hand automatically went straight to her knife. And then she...
You don't have a knife.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do
no,
now.
Because my wait, we still have weapons?
Yeah.
Because in
Oh,
my fantasy
well,
world, we don't.
Here's the interesting thing. You bring up a very good point. Faelyn goes for their knife. Faelyn, you are willingly going to break the concept of the reality that Nyxi has made, even though Nyxi's original reality was one of peace. This is one of delegation, which is still aligning in this, which means that there are still no weapons present.
Oh.
So, Faelyn, I'm gonna need you to then make an intelligence saving throw.
okay.
You're welcome.
Because as soon as she does it, she goes, "Oh, wait, stop," and she stops. But there was an automatic reaction there.
Yeah.
Like your hand, kind of like a showdown in the Midwest, you know? Like,
Then she took a breath and stopped. Sorry, you said intelligence?
Yes.
14. Same thing.
14. Equal parts. So here's what happens, Faelyn. First of all, you have enough confidence and structure in self in this moment that when you drop in, you are not just then perceived as Nyxi's bodyguard. You are not just a projection that accompanies Nyxi. Yourself is present. So now you're not. Funny enough, you are not just a bodyguard to Nyxi. You are a representative of the Feywild in this meeting. And as a representative, you go to your dagger, and then you slowly move away from it. We're going to see something here, though.
Pretending I was just checking for my wallet.
You're like, my satchel, my gold pieces, they're not here. Crazy. Almost forgot plugging my phone, guys. It's like warned me 20%. I was like,
you No, I think we're gonna leave it at that. Okay.
I didn't like
And
that
last
laugh.
one. All right. So, here's what happens, Nyxi. Your father, Glint, his name is Glint Gronk, Glint Gronk Zalimat.
Easy for you.
He's a very brilliant man. He's very focused in his work. He's very efficient in all this.
Wait, I thought our last name was Molly Talk.
Molly Talk?
Molly Talk. Not Zolly.
Well, Zalimat is the clan name.
Oh.
So it's like Grint, Bronx, Molly Talks, Zalimat.
Yeah, say that because my stuff.
Yeah, Zalimat's like the full clan kind of thing of the actual people. Now, just pulling up our little boy right here, Padon. There you go. We're gonna get to Zummyar in a second. I'm just gonna finish this line of thought. Nyxi, your father is a brilliant man. Really, really smart guy. He is not perceptive in the slightest. He is not very aware of anything that's happening around him. So he does not notice Faelyn's draw. However, a lot of the other individuals at the meeting do. As do and they bring the attention of this moment. But I want to focus first on Zummyar because Faelyn is gonna have a moment actually where Faelyn drives here. So Zummyar, I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Charisma saving throw.
Yes.
Because I dragged you guys to the map and started chewing everybody out and I pretty much said, Faelyn,
16.
Zummyar, look at the map.
16. Zummyar, you yourself also are not just a bodyguard for Nyxi. You come in here as a representative. But here is what's interesting. Your representation is similar to the Feywild as well, but you are a representative that borders between protecting the Fey and the vibrant essence of the actual Echo worlds as they feed into the material. You're here to make sure that what happens at this meeting doesn't jeopardize your homeland, doesn't jeopardize the Elderwood. Faelyn, as you approach the map, I want to hear, as you make your way towards this table, doing that whole knife gesture, I want you to describe how Faelyn tries to lend their voice to this meeting.
Well, Faelyn is... So first of all, she takes a great effort to almost use the power of her ability to go into meditation, or a trance, I should say, the better word, a trance instead of sleep sort of mode, to release any energy she may have created with her unconscious hand movement towards her knife. And then, so she focuses on that a ton. And then she's not wanting to say anything yet, because she also wants to like fade right into the woodwork now because of that little reaction. But she's waiting. She's really trying to follow Nyxi's lead and wait until spoken to before she says anything. She gets that something weighty might be happening, and because of that, she is not going to jump in and do anything rash, because she just almost did that, and she has a feeling she might have screwed something up there. So she's just watching. She's trying to read the room.
Even in that moment, I will say that as you go to put your dagger away, like going away from your hand, and you go back into that trying to control your mind's reflection to make sure that this is, again, knowing this reality, and now you are part of it and you are in control. You hear the representatives around the table, specifically the fire, the kind of the red-skinned individual. She looks and says, "Well, I don't know exactly how well we can appreciate you requesting to hear the voices of these representatives when one is so willingly forthright in moving towards aggression as a tactic of negotiations." And it's at this moment in Faelyn where you move your hand away from it. But people are aware of this, and many people saw it.
Okay.
And at this final turn, the orc turns and looks and locks eyes with you. I need you to make a deception check.
Gotta work on my charisma.
I like the spicy drama. A little sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. Right?
Oh, beautiful. That'd be a 3, Liam.
A 3.
That's charisma.
As the orc locks eyes with you, as much as you lead with the vibrancy of the Feywild, your essence in it is coded in a shadow, and that shadow is seen, and it is marked, and people are aware of it.
Nyxi stands in front of Faelyn and like looks this orc in the eye, even though she's really small. She's like,
Yeah, Faelyn looks away. Looks down, in fact.
As you do that, Faelyn, you go from being a representative back to the bodyguard pose. You are no longer perceived in this as a unique individual and are simply a wandering passer through Nyxi's reality.
Yeah, Faelyn's fine with that.
Nyxi, I feel as if that we are having this conversation is becoming more and more turned to this, but feel free. Tell us exactly what your solution is, because as far as I see it, we have the entire divine, the interference tied into here, going in from the actual lines passed through here in Arborea, They're interfering with us being able to actually transfer. Now, I understand, first of all, the frustration of having a Elder Gods warmongers to be able to potentially grab up a bunch of weapons and be able to decimate an entire populace within the elemental planes. I understand that. Do I feel as if it is a hindrance and a desire, like a motivator for us to shut down production? No, because if I had to worry about every single divine being that was trying to decimate one thing or another, I wouldn't get anything shipped out of the ground. I wouldn't be able to pull out a single bit of mineral. I wouldn't be able to use my essence extractor on the smallest firefly. It's not something that I want to deal with. So please, Nyxi, explain this very complicated map structure to me now so that we be able to fix this. So sweet.
Can I opt out? Can I cheat and be like, Nyxi tells them exactly what they're doing wrong?
Go ahead and make a what's it called? I'm gonna say what's the skill? What's the skill here associated with it? To be able to just do, I was gonna say cartography, but this is really bad. I'm gonna say go ahead and make a. You can choose. No, you can't. This is a religion check with disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Because your father is giving you the hindrance action.
If one was a nat 20, then still.
It's still a disadvantage.
Well, that doesn't matter because the first one was a nat 20, but the second one with the +3 of the religion check is a 19. So.
Okay. So
19.
Now
okay.
now you get this moment of kind of like having a point. Your father's still very much understanding of this concept. Mm-hmm. But you now
I'm a grown woman.
Reference of understanding because you know Talos and you've met Talos and you know his warmongers and you know his war parties. You know Talos is not going to do anything that is simply mitigated outside of self-interest, personal interest. You know that Talos does things so that his divine presence is going to be felt in the material world. That's what he wants. He cares more about the material world than anything else, which is a problem, especially if he's wanting to bring weapons and arm his followers and soldiers with, because if they fail and bring these weapons into the material plane, it can be almost like traced back to you in that way. So it's a threat, it's a risk. So really what the divine angels are doing here when they're interfering with the cosmic highway, this like cosmic market that you have, they're actually doing you a service and really should be given the same kind of weapons that they're given unto Talos, so that, or the weapons that your father gives into Talos's armies and the representatives there, because those angels are trying to protect the sanctity and the sacredness between the outer planes, the transitive planes, the echo planes, the inner planes, and the material world. And the material world being part of that ties into what you are trying to work at, which is making sure that these weapons do not go into the hands of material world dwellers. So in a way, you understand that the actual religious structure of how angels work is that you could use that on a market spectrum and allowing them to have that, probably investing more in the angels than you would in the actual war effort happening in Yasgard.
I'm going to tell him just that.
Sure, except I want you to flavor this in you confronting your father. I want you to start getting in his face.
Well, Nyxi also knows that as much as she wants to, she has to keep a level head because she doesn't want the whole world collapsing around her. So she actually says it a little sassily, but with some strength. You know, very like, be like, I understand where you're coming from, Papa. I really do. I totally understand. Sorry, I forgot to do the voice. I totally understand where you're coming from, Papa. I really, really do. However, by not giving these angels the type of protection that we're giving to everybody else is going to royally screw them over. And if you think for 1 second that you can't just listen to the beings that are literally telling you what the problem is, you're an idiot. And that's all I'm going to say about it, because I really don't want this, I remember this reality to collapse. So I'm not going to go into much detail about it, but if you can't listen to the people around you, then you're missing out on a huge opportunity, and you're just going to
wait just a
bring everybody else down.
minute over here, young lady. I'm not going to have you just immediately insult me in front of all of these here. All these like wonderful business partners that we have. And
I'll call them as I see them, Papa. I call them and see it.
So you're telling me that I, as the individual that has built this from the ground up for nearly 400 years, you're telling me I myself, who expanded upon the concept because my father and his father before him, we've been innovating, constructing for centuries, and you're going to call me an idiot because you saw me and my face? Oh, excuse me.
I'm not saying your inventions are idiotic. You're a genius in that way, but you're not such a genius when it comes to creating new ideas and changing things. If you stay in the past, it's only going to create disaster. You have to evolve with the times, not stay in the past.
Well, you know what?
You're all going to be lost. Your whole businesses are going to be lost. Don't. Just because I'm your little girl doesn't mean that you can just sass me.
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something right now. You're hand waving me right off of the bat. Let me explain something to you. Understand each other right now. Okay? You may be a very sweet girl. You may be able to understand those around us, and you may have been able to talk to some people. I haven't been able to get a single word in with them because they won't give me the time of day. You're a very talkative person. You're very wonderful, and you're wonderful to talk to. And a lot of people really respect the energy you got. But gosh dang dong it. I just need to explain something to you right now. That I'm frustrated with the fact that you hijacked this entire meeting, and this is why I keep you out of these things. All right? I'm not ready to give you the reins, Nyxi. I understand that you actually care about people, and you're paying attention, and you're able to walk around here, and you're perceptive as heck. I'm not even that perspective. But you understand at this moment. And you guys see here, as the meeting room has shifted, the individuals, the representatives are gone. Nyxi is locked in with her father at this moment. Now you understand, basically, that everything that I've been able to do is for you, all right? So if I'm an idiot, then that means that you're just a stupid little rascal. So they're right there.
I got my intelligence from my brother, not you.
Well, you know what? It's a good thing your brother's not here right now, and he's not going to be because he... Make a charisma saving throw, please.
Oh, fuck. Oh, sorry. What saving throw?
Charisma.
Fuck, it's still there. My charisma's still there. I got a low ass charisma. 6.
And make an intelligence save. Because we're doing them in tandem.
Not 1. Guys, we're fucked. I'm so sorry.
As soon as your father stops talking, you go, what? You turn around.
Papa?
You turn around. And actually, you hear a door close behind you. Not the sophisticated one before, but a common door. You turn around.
Oh, no.
And you are in Byron's room.
No.
And you turn around again. And you see your papa. You see glint. Blood on his hands.
No,
blood
fuck.
On his work apron. Blood on his face. And a pool of blood that is just freshly seeped. Dripping from his hands. And you see Glint say, Nyxi, I'm sorry, I have to go. And he steps into the blood and just disappears as more blood seeps and begins to spill and expand out towards you in a webbing.
Are we still with her?
Yeah, I was just about to ask. Am I by myself?
You are present right now with Nyxi in this moment. You guys are right now, all of you alone here.
I put my hand on Nyxi's shoulder immediately.
Yeah, Nyxi starts taking steps forward, so that was a good move because I literally start like slowly like walking forward towards where my papa just disappeared. And then boom.
Yeah.
I'm like, trying not to live this reality where Byron left, where he was, because Nyxi's one of the people who found him, right? So she's like, she's kind of in
Zummyar
shock.
is
I'm just in
Yeah.
shock. Nyxi's just in shock. She doesn't know what to say or what to do. She kind of is just frozen.
Zummyar is just trying to take all of this in and try to discern what happened here.
Make an investigation check.
I am not good at those. I'm really not sure what happened here. That's a 5. There's blood, guys.
Everywhere. Yeah, I know.
Faelyn is holding Nyxi and leans down and whispers, "Perhaps we shouldn't be here."
I don't know if Nyxi really hears Faelyn. It's kind of like just ringing in her ears, kind of like just like a white noise almost.
You know what? I'm going to say something here. On a nat 1 intelligence, Nyxi, you are back in this reality as if it was fully perceived as reality. And when you found Byron dead on the floor, you were alone. And so you are alone. You don't perceive anybody around you.
Even if they're there, I can't perceive them.
You guys see Nyxi, and Nyxi is right around you. And you did touch Nyxi's shoulder, but Nyxi, you don't perceive anything. And you see the individual come to you two, Faelyn and Zummyar, and say, wait a moment. Get your hand off of her right now. Careful. What are you doing right now, Nyxi, in this moment as you are alone with the blood pooling?
And is Byron there?
Byron is not there.
I walked to where my papa disappeared, my father disappeared, and I kind of just kneel right beside it and kind of try touching the blood.
Okay.
Can I do one thing before we get into this?
Yes.
Once that person said, like, not to touch her and just to let her do something, I still want to try to know what's going on with Nyxi, so I'm gonna try to just sit down where I am and like connect with her like through my meditation if I can.
Okay. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Yeah.
Go for it.
Go ahead and do your meditation check here, Zummyar.
That's 16.
16. Okay. Interesting. You've never done this on a member of the party before. I'm trying to see.
Can it give us advantage because we're so connected?
Yeah, I'm gonna say you have advantage, but I'm gonna say you have advantage because you are. Yeah, I'm gonna say advantage for a very interesting reason. What'd you roll?
I'll roll my advantage here and see what happens. It'll be a dirty 20.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason that you are having advantage here, Zummyar, is because you are diving into someone. You are going into and connecting with them deeper into their suffering, and this is the root of Nyxi's suffering. You are perceiving not a dream. This is her reality. And you can tell that it is affecting her deeply as she touches in. I think I can only give kind of a little bit of context here, and I think Nyxi needs to explain this. So what you see here is a young girl a little bit younger, just a little bit than when you first met Nyxi. You see a young girl looking over a dead body with knives embedded in it, pooling blood, stretching out across a bedroom floor, and a young girl looking for answers completely alone. But Nyxi, I want you to describe this feeling because this is the emotion that you are experiencing again. And I want you to tell us what it is that Nyxi went through in this, because this is the root of where Nyxi was truly kind of birthed from in their pursuits.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, this is kind of where Nyxi grew up the most, is from this point on, where she couldn't be as naive anymore. And at first it was shock because she was going to see Byron. Like he promised her that they would go to the market together, and she was super excited because he didn't have a lot of time for her because there was a time where her and her papa was getting and everything was getting way busier than usual. So he promised her that morning that they'd go to the market, and she was really excited. And then she entered the room and she found her brother Byron on the floor, and at first it was shock. She didn't want to believe it. She almost, despite being a little older, she still wanted to almost believe that it wasn't actual blood. She actually thought it was like paint or that he was just goofing off. And so she goes up to him and pretty much tells him to stop playing around and kind of pushes him on the back, being like, "Why are you playing with paint, silly?" And then she like pushes his body and realizes there's knives embedded into him. And that's kind of where it sinks in a lot. And then she's just like tries to like get him to wake up. Doesn't know that if you remove knives, the person bleeds out faster. So she's like taking out these knives out of his body and just like covered in blood. And she actually feels panicked, and she feels like her world's collapsing, and she's almost starts like trying to put the blood back, and she's like trying to scoop it and like trying to get it back into his body. And she starts crying and panicking and pretty much telling him that he had promised her that they'd go to the market, and that he promised her that they were going to go find that new crystal shop, and then they were going to use it to make like different types of powders, and they were going to like create new like inventions, and that he promised her that he would finally take her on one of the longer adventures that she never got to go on to, because even if her brother and her dad brought her sometimes on the wagon, she never was allowed to go too far. And so he promised her to take her by like past the mountains, and she's just feeling super panicked and devastated and just absolutely wrecked and destroyed. And then she finds a suicide note. And as she's reading it covered in blood, getting the note covered in blood, she realized that it didn't seem like him. It didn't seem like his writing. It didn't seem like anything like that. And she realizes that it couldn't be him. He promised her it couldn't be him. He couldn't have been the one who did this. And so she realized that he was set up. And so she feels devastation, anger, and just absolutely broken on the inside, because this was her best friend, the one that pretty much, besides her dad, raised her, you know? So that's what she's feeling. She's feeling a lot of shit right now. And she also feels a little bit of anger when she realizes that she's never going to see him again and that somebody did this to him. So, and they tried getting away with it, which, yeah. Feeling a lot of shit.
Zummyar, as you take all this in, the individual with the two of you speaks. This
here. This is something diving deeper into the true reality. And we have to let her go where she's going to go. We can follow, but we need to make sure she's untethered from us right now. She does not notice where we are. So we need to make sure that we follow fast. And we need to make sure at a certain point we will be brought into this reality, but we need to make ourselves be known, and we will be considered threats to her.
I'm sorry.
I'd say
Don't make me
Zummyar
do
kind of comes out of this, and he was feeling that just like intense panic and pain and grief all at once, and he comes out and he's crying. He's trying to hide it, but he's crying because he can feel all of those things that this person he's become so close with is and was feeling. So he's trying to hide it, but he's very emotional right now.
The individual looks at you, Zummyar, and they are going to do something here. Go ahead and make a deception check.
Oh, a deception shit, but 19
19. Let me look at something.
rolled well.
Okay. Even with a 19, they're able to look at you and say, "What'd you do?
Damn it.
What is this?" They're looking at you, try to cover the emotions and feeling that weight.
I'm gonna look at them and just say, if I don't get to do that to you, you don't get to do this to me.
No. Explain to me this. What exactly did you do? What are you feeling in this moment?
It's hard to explain. I'm able to very recently kind of connect into people's emotions. I don't get necessarily, I can't see things that are happening. I can't, but I can feel their pain. It was a gift from Ilmater.
I see. This actually might be able to work out quite well. When we follow where she's going, I will need to be able to pull her out of this, but we will not need to make ourselves known entirely. Not if you are able to make the transition. If you are able to tie, sorry, yeah, you go.
I just wanted to say I'll do what I can to help in this situation, but as you can see, it's hard going into those intense moments.
Yes. Which means that you are going to just simply have to be able to tie in and make sure that whatever you transition into does not, well, when you transition, you will just need to make sure you prepare yourself. Because if you begin to take shape and hold on to the reality, you need to make sure that you go into something you can hold on to. Again, if you need help to explore it, and if you need help to relieve yourself of it, I can make sure I pull that away from you. But remember this clearly. You need to have a reality to return to. As they speak this way, you see manifesting up on their back, you notice two swords coming onto their back in these like otherworldly scabbards. Nyxi, you touch the blood. Go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
You're muted. There, I hear you now. Yeah.
Hello?
Oh, can't hear you. Oh, there you go. You say something. No.
You're really quiet.
Almighty.
Heard
Now
you
we
there.
can hear you.
Can you hear me better now?
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, shit. Hello. No
hello.
earphones to me for a little bit while they charged because they were dying. So yeah, all right. So I'm touching the blood and it's kind of like going through my fingers, and then I kind of just like put my hand where my dad went down. I touch floor while I sneak through. We'll find out.
Well, I'm going to ask you this, Nyxi. As you put your hand through here, you feel as if there's actually something down below that you could go into.
Well, I'm diving. I'm diving in there.
Now I'm going to ask you this. What's the worst possible outcome of your reality that you could manifest going deeper into this well of blood? What is the worst reality you could possibly fathom finding at the end of this?
Probably being inside that big house that was going on fire before I passed away, and just everybody, instead of us saving them, the whole place just on fire. Everybody's just like screaming. Sometimes there's like burned bodies, and then like right in the middle would be like my brother just pooled in blood, and like everybody else, like Zummyar, Richard, Faelyn, Naviri, and like just them all just pooled in blood in the center. And yeah, just everything I know just in flames, on fire, in blood, stuck and can't leave. So
charisma and intelligence save both with disadvantage as you go through.
let's go, guys. Down below. All right. Well, wish that was effective throw, so that's for intelligence. That was an 8. And then charisma's a 2. Down below we go, y'all.
You come
Dos.
through the blood, and the minute that they see that, the person you're with, she says, "All right, go now," and they move towards the blood pool itself.
Join me, guys. Jump right on in. It's an adventure. Do. Trying to make light of a dark situation.
Just saw her jump in.
Yeah, I just dived right in.
She put her hand in it and went inside the blood.
Just boop. All you hear is boop.
That's not all you hear.
Yeah.
You hear.
Oh.
I just look at the person like that's with us.
Do we know their name? I can't remember.
No, they didn't. They refused to tell us their name because they're an asshole.
Can we give them a nickname? Because they refuse.
I just look at them and see if they have anything.
They moved right towards the blood. They're waiting for you to be guiding because you're the one who's going to be taking up the next bit here.
Oh, they went towards the blood, so I just
right in the
go.
blood.
Like,
Yeah, I just go right there.
You go
No
and you will
hesitation.
transition into the blood in a moment. Nyxi, you go through and you see the house as you are currently surrounded by it in fire. All of your worst fears are here. You've gone from the desired dreams to the truth of your reality, and now to the assumptions and to a vision of the future or a potential out of everything that is truly as bad as you could possibly imagine it. And you see them. You see Faelyn. You see Zummyar. You see Richard. You see the face you remember from a long time. You see Naviri, her elven features. You see her carved down, burned with a large piece of this house on top of her. You see charred bodies with holes. There are holes punctured into the walls itself, and you see that a bunch of individuals are scattered, as if this whole place was like a just entire box of an trapped area here. As if everyone here was just in a killing box. You feel the roof fall down, and then you see in the light on their knees, in the center of a room, you see his kind of punkish mohawk, shaved sides of his head, his ears kind of extended out to the side, wearing his traveler clothes with about 17 or so guns all off to the side here, bandolier across his body.
I run up to him. I just sprint, screaming his name, being like, "Bye!" and like hold on to him and be like, "It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I can heal you. I know how to heal you. I can heal you."
You look into his face, and you see while stern, still soft-looking features of Byron. As he
Nyxi.
Can I heal him? Can I like cast? I want to try casting a spell on him and like casting it.
Sure. What spell are you going to cast?
That's
That's a good spell.
That's
Thank
a great
you.
spell. That's a bard
my
spell
favorite.
right there.
Oh yeah,
It's a little late for such a comical spell, but yeah.
Yeah,
it
level
brings people
spell.
back
I don't
from the
think
read
dead.
the room, Nyxi.
I have trouble with processing my emotions. I don't know if you can tell. Anything sad, I'm like, but yeah, exactly. Don't worry, guys. I get therapy. So I'm going to cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
Yeah, 1d8, and then plus my spell casting plus times 2. And so
as you reach for your tools and you immediately use them to pull the pieces of shrapnel, broken up heads of charred bits of flesh to like kind of stitch together and pull out the blades that are sticking out of him. And he breathes in. You begin to feel a shadow begin to come over casting through the hole.
Nyxi. Oh man, no, what are you doing here?
I'm like, I'm here to save you. I'm here to save you. Just don't move. Don't move.
No, save yourself, Nyxi. You just gotta get out of here. Stop it.
I'm not leaving you. And then she thinks the word again, but she doesn't realize what that really meant. It's like, I'm not gonna leave you. And thinks again. And then she's like, just hold on.
Nyxi, this isn't how it's supposed to work out.
And you keep rushing around. You keep kind of rushing through. You guys see this as you step through Zummyar. You can see that Nyxi is in a very vulnerable state at this moment. You see the individual that you're with come back around. And she says, I'm going to come through. When I do, again, she will take me as hostile. You need to make the exchange immediately. They go to grab their sword and they draw it from their scabbard.
Okay, I get ready.
Right.
No, Nyxi, come on, it's not worth it anymore.
And he just grabs one of his guns off to the side. He's just grabbing around.
And I'm just like, it is. And then I cast it. I force it upon him. I'd be like, what do you mean by that? It is. You're worth it. Why aren't you leave me?
He pulls up his gun. He's like, Nyxi, you don't understand.
You couldn't understand. There's just too much here for you at stake. So listen to me. You gotta get out of here, Nyxi. You gotta get out of here.
I'd rather die than leave you behind, Byron. Don't talk like that. And I grab his gun.
The shadow, go ahead and make, I'm going to say you can choose either an athletics check or a sleight of hand check. He's going to go sleight of hand.
That hand is slight.
I'm gonna do athletics. And so that would be an 8.
Okay. The shadow begins to overcast. You try to pull it by force. In the force, you pull the... One of the tactics your brother has on this gun is that if somebody was to grab it, it's a big, heavy barrel, but it slides immediately off if too much force is applied, and then it's just a slick like gun right in his hands. So he's got still full control of it. So he's got that on. The shadow's overcast. Right behind, you don't notice this, but Zummyar, the essence comes through. So the creature makes their presence known. They bring up this sword right behind Nyxi. It's like, Nyxi, get down! And he pulls up a gun. Nyxi, what is your armor class?
15.
15. Okay.
He's a going to die.
What's Byron going to get? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to hit.
Oh.
And that one's a nat 20. That's definitely going to hit. Byron fires twice on the individual right behind. You see Nyxi right behind you, an individual reminiscent of the general back in Yasgard, sword in hand. Byron, in his call out, allows you to duck under and move so that this person completely misses with the sword. And all of a sudden, you see 2 gunshot wounds go right through their chest. Byron's like getting ready to pop another couple. Zummyar.
Oh God, just one straight roll or
One straight roll.
You got this.
dirty 20.
Wow.
You connect in at this moment. Nyxi, you kind of back up at this moment away from the person. As you dodge, you bump into one of the bodies behind you. You see the body of Zummyar in this moment as Zummyar's head turns to face you and immediately grabs onto your face. And Zummyar, you feel that moment as you are going towards Nyxi, pulling the control from her. The creature at this moment, Faelyn, you can make manifest if you wish to come present in this moment as well.
I do.
You step through. Nyxi, you see the dead body of Faelyn like step up towards, and Byron begins to turn around as you connect in Zummyar. The individual with the sword in hand says, "Wait!" And then Zummyar, I need you to make a charisma saving throw and an intelligence saving throw right now.
Charisma. Intelligence was 18. Charisma was a nat 1.
Oh, dude.
Join me in the insanity. Join me in the insanity.
Never.
Still got your wits to you, though.
Party.
Well, we're going to get immediately into what that all means for Zummyar when we come back from our break.
That's fair.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Well, good.
God
Really good.
damn.
Everybody.
Yeah. We're going to be right back, you guys.
Say everybody hurts.
Sometimes. Yeah. Yeah.
We got food.
Okay. Welcome back, everybody.
Hello.
So, we come to a new reality formed. One where Zummyar Zummyar Bayhorn. Now, Zummyar, I'm going to give you this establishment for
Bayhorn's
yourself.
a weapon?
Zummyar, your perceived reality at this moment is going to be very different from Nyxi's. Because yours is not... You are not grounded when you do this, Zummyar. When you make this transition, you are in the lowest form of self-control that you could possibly be in. Now, I will let you know, the benefit is that you are aware that it is a perception of your reality, dream, whatever it is that you go to in this state. But it is a state of you at your most uneven form of yourself. Like, this is what puts you most at an imbalance.
Okay.
So I pass it off to you here. What is it that you perceive here?
Oh, you're just telling, like, okay.
Oh yeah, I don't know what's in Zummyar's reality. I'm like, you gotta. Yeah, I'd love it if I put
Sorry, that was my bad.
put
That was
Nyxi
my
through
bad.
this and have them explain all this stuff, and now it's just like, okay, I'm gonna tell you everything I know about Zummyar.
Okay, so I failed the charisma throw. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that I'm connecting this, especially like I'm literally seeing a house burning around Nyxi and her brother, and it takes me to my house burning down, the district burning down, the crystal crop running through our entire district and murdering everybody. And I'm just like, in a second, like in an instant, just like vaulted out into that moment of like, I'm in my house now. Everything's burning. I'm just looking for my parents, but I have no idea where they are. And I'm just in a full panic. And I know that it's not real, I guess. Like I know that I'm perceiving this, but I don't want to be in this moment. I don't want to relive this.
You are in a moment that is provoking you to be ungrounded. You know that this is what it is, and you know exactly where you are. I'm going to say, because you are saying that you are taking the power here, but you are not, it's almost perfect that you're not completely separating from the moment. You find something though that makes it yourself, like for your own. And so you guys see coming through the wall of the estate, a horse bursts through and tramples coming right through, runs over Byron, and immediately you are pulled into this moment, Zummyar, where you are owning this element, where you can just see the Crestal's crop, hearing screams go through. In the moment, Nyxi, you see as the gnome body be like mixed up in the actual hooves, no perceived features of Byron. You are pulled back into a reality where you are no longer in control. Everybody here is garbed and unarmed, and your wares are ragged. You are all wearing just torn up clothing. Zummyar, where are you? Where's your intention, and where's your motivation to be able to get people through this?
My intention would just be to focus on the fact that this is that I know that this is a perception of my reality, that it's not reality, and try to reground myself because Nyxi's already going through stuff, and then Faelyn's part of this whole thing, and I'm supposed to be trying to help, so I'm just trying to just bring myself back like to center. That's my initial goal and only goal right now.
Okay. So you are making this very much of your own self, trying to get you back into a sense of grounding.
Yeah, now I'm trying to separate from everything else and just refocus on not getting this away from me, essentially.
Okay. Now, this is something. Okay, we're gonna go through this. So, as you find yourself locking in, trying to get out, you find yourself not moving, but almost like jumping between different points of the street. Like you are trying to find and search for a space that allows you to get out of here. So all of you
Okay.
don't walk out of this building. You see Zummyar, you lock down into yourself, searching through, trying like you guys emerge right outside of the burning estate, sitting down on the ground. Yeah. Take it.
Okay. I remember that the person that we're with told me like if I lost this, I would need to have my own reality to ground myself. So I try to focus on something that was like the most peace that I found when I was younger, just the best part of my days and everything was back when I was in the Feywild, when I was much, much younger, when my mother was still teaching me how to play the flute, and I would just go out by myself, just go find like a pond or a lake or something to sit in front of and just practice by myself in the quiet, no one else around, just the wild and the music.
Okay. As you are locking into your place, going very deep into the personal thoughts, I need you to make a charisma saving throw with disadvantage,
Great.
not the intelligence saving throw. We're going to keep this 18 standing. The rest of you kind of just perceiving everything around you. What you see is galloping horses of the burlap sack individuals that you recognize from Emiria as they come across, trampling about, stabbing, throwing, hucking torches onto district homes, bursting through doorways of screaming villagers. Zummyar, what'd you get?
It's not horrible. It's a 12.
12. Okay. Now, Zummyar, you find yourself dropping back down into the streets, and you guys are all surrounding this in this moment here. Then you jump to another section where you are now kind of a little bit farther away. You're like the state is farther, still kind of perceptible, but you can just see you move off to a hillside where you can see that there's a bunch of people being dragged by horses, and you can see that there are some individuals being taken, bound up towards a tree. You will jump to another area, and you can see that there is a lake. There's a lake off in the distance. Zummyar's not looking at this, but you guys are noticing all these events as you drop down, because Zummyar is almost completely dissociating into himself to find groundingness. Zummyar, as you are grounding, you feel the cords wrapped around your wrists. Like, they're not red. They're just like these leather bounded cords, almost as if your hands are bound. But you feel them tightening as if they are like serpents tightening around your wrists. And you lock down again. And then you kind of feel an energy from them as it pulses through. The cords begin to come back to their colors, and you come back, and all of a sudden the shifts become a little bit more structured and even paced, and then you find yourself at a lake. Fire still roars in the back area, and you are kind of in a desert. There's a lake in front of you. You are not looking at it presently, but you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
I will ask you if you will look up or if you will wait for the next jump for you to perceive.
I would probably keep waiting because this still doesn't feel quite right yet. I can still feel that there's the kind of chaos that's behind me. So I'm going to try to keep just focusing on what I'm doing because it feels like I'm getting somewhere.
you all, the rest of you perceiving this, you see as Zummyar, still not paying attention to what's happening around, jumps, seamless almost transitions, hopping from desert, grasslands to a mountain range. You see that in the mountains, you guys begin to climb higher and higher in these mountains until you begin to go deeper and deeper going down. You start to flow through, and now you're not just like jumping between. A smoothish transition begins to happen as you begin to chart your way through the mountain ranges. You start to see a this massive lake of ice. You begin to go through, and then you see swampland, and you see deep, dark swamp, and then you begin to come through to a rugged, overgrown, grassy hills, and begin to flow through it. You guys begin to move past a area that is like decades and decades of lived life, punching towards a ridge that you begin to soar over top of, coming into a dense wood that seems almost as vibrant as the Feywild, but no planes or portals were transitioned through. And Zummyar, as you smell fire come through your nose, it is not one of hostility, and there is not screams. In fact, it is one of a campfire, keeping you warm. You come to, not opening your eyes, but you feel as if you are not in a youthful presence of your body, but you are yourself in a very familiar wood.
I guess I just open my eyes and just look around and kind of take it all in.
As you do that, make an intelligence saving throw.
I'm not good at these 4. We're doing intelligence and charisma. They're the 2 that I have zeros on.
Yeah.
Such is the D&D life.
Mm-hmm.
As you come to a present moment, you open your eyes. And as you open them, you feel as if you are back home, more on the outskirts, not in security, but you are far, far away. And you feel like you are there presently.
Okay.
Okay.
So now I'm here and it feels like I'm really here.
Yeah. Feels like you are really here.
I'm just gonna take a big deep breath and smell the air, and then just sit down in front of the lake and just start practicing my flute.
You manifest as the lake is here, the rich earth scent fills your lungs. Go ahead and make a performance check.
Hell yeah.
Play that funky
10.
music, monk boy. Play
10. I'm learning.
Here's the thing.
Playing
You
hot
all
cross buns.
You all see Zummyar Is it a recorder or is it an actual flute?
It's a flute. It's a flute.
Okay, if it was a recorder,
I was just doing it
I
because
mean,
you
that's
play hot
adorable.
cross buns on the recorder. That's why.
See Zummyar turn his head down as he starts trying to play it. Like doesn't have the proper air support as it comes through. It's like he's learning.
In the
You
classic Zummyar faction, fuck every time I get one.
Yeah, you know that Zummyar that just like curses out the world as he goes through it. You
Hmm.
guys see Zummyar in a state and an area where he is allowing himself to be unburdened by just anything, and is just now in a place where it seems as if he's just like a young person trying to learn something, trying to get back into the swing of something long lost. But you can see he still has the cords around his wrists. And I will say, Zummyar, with that intelligence, the cords just seem like normal bangles to you. They don't have the
Okay.
colors marked of ill matter.
Makes sense. Yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out. This is what I liked to do on my free time. I would do that. I would go explore just around the Elderwood, just see what was going on. I was kind of a loner other than my very immediate family, so yeah, I just like hanging out by myself like this. Yeah, after I practice for a little while, I'd probably just get up, walk around, take a look at the trees, any of the wildlife, kind of talk to them, say hi as I'm going by. I'm a furball, so I can kind of communicate with them. So kind of just speaking to the vegetation and the animals and whatever, just very peaceful, just kind of hanging out by myself.
You see this kind of like black furred squirrel kind of come up.
And just kind of let it run up my arm. Just keep walking, just hanging out. Probably just walking around, kind of heading back towards the family.
You find yourself making your way through here. Now Zummyar's path, you guys see as if Zummyar is wandering. I'm gonna say make an insight check. Anybody but Zummyar.
I can't insight myself.
No, you can't.
Well, I got a quick question because Nyxi just went through something very freaking traumatic. Would she even beat herself, or is she just kind of like a zombie at this point?
Presently, Nyxi, I'm gonna say
she just went through very traumatic something. She's not.
You can go into the state that you would feel, but I'm gonna say you no longer have the burden of having to control your realities. Your realities, as they have like been exposed, like you are kind of like an open nerve in terms of your mental state, but you also don't have the burden of having to exert your mind. You don't have to be able to go to that place if you don't want to. It's kind of like you're now a passenger in this moment. If you guys were living out of a shared experience, like you were back at the actual house, then you would probably be in real danger of just mentally not knowing like what was happening.
Yeah.
But I will leave this to you. Are you rattled enough in your mind that you feel as if your perceptions of reality in this moment are putting you through enough of a, I'd say almost like a maybe dysphoria is a wrong word, but there's just some like, is the trauma in your mind still strong?
It's pretty strong, but I think she'd just be more in shock because it's almost like I just thought that what happened was reality, and now I'm just like sucked out of that and like plopped into this peaceful moment. Be more like shock, you know, but like trying to kind of figure out like the difference between the reality that I just been through and like this new reality that we're entering, you know?
Right.
So that's kind of what I was more referring to. Because I don't know about you guys, but if you had to relive your character's trauma all over again, it wouldn't really be the same in that moment, you know?
Yeah,
So
I agree.
for at least 5 minutes or something. Like, so I
Sure.
think she's probably not going to insight check just because she's still trying to get a grip of like what's happening around her. Like she can kind of realize that what happened was not true reality, but it is still like she's still shaken. She's still
Yep, I
rattled.
agree.
So
I agree.
go Faelyn.
So I'll do it.
All right.
By the way, I'm assuming like they're gone now, like they're not part of this anymore for me. Like Faelyn and Nyxi, like they're
There. Good question. Faelyn, make that insight check.
Okay. 7.
7. Zummyar seems to be doing the same thing that Nyxi was doing back in the mine, as far as you can perceive. Zummyar, I would say, so the state that you're actually wandering through here, I'd say that you are perceiving them, but they are not active members of your reality. They're not, unless they make their presence known, you will not notice them. But what I will say is you're talking to the beasts. So what you see is this, you see this short baby giraffe, like this kind of like strong, like kind of like, it's not even really a giraffe. It's like, it is like an elongated horse, but it's got like antlers on it. So it's almost like an elk-like creature that's walking through where Faelyn is standing. And then you can see that where Nyxi is standing, there's like this, it's like a pangolin or a puffin. It's like a puffin, but with fur. It's like this furry bird, like, just walking where Nyxi is.
Nice.
Thank you.
And Nyxi, like deep in the trauma of just everything, just like a furry bird, just like sunken into the face. And then the other creature as a passage is actually this kind of like large insect. This large kind of like almost like kind of like, it's weird, I was gonna say crustacean, but I feel as if the creature is more like a mosquito, but like mixed in with a praying mantis type thing.
Okay. I'm just gonna look at all the animals and just say, any of you guys got anything interesting to show me today? And just see if any of them start kind of like wandering off somewhere.
I just gotta look up at him blankly and make a little noise. Who's puffin just sounds like a but Nyxi's
Zummyar, remind me your beast speech, like how much can you perceive from it? Is it usually just emotions?
So I think it's like I can speak to them. Let me take a look. Like I can't talk to, like we can't have a conversation.
Right.
But
and
I'm
if it's
pretty
in
sure I
Volo,
can like let me Google it.
Here, I got it in Volo.
I think it's like they can understand what I'm saying, but we can't like have a conversation.
You understand the meaning of their words, though you have no special ability to understand them in return. Oh, they understand the meaning of your words. Okay.
Yeah.
And you have advantage on charisma checks to influence them. Okay. So
I'm not trying to influence them. I'm just asking like anywhere you guys are going? Anything cool? Sure. And see if they just kind of like wander off and see if I'll follow behind them.
You notice a lot of the animals just kind of understand you, start looking around. As you're talking, the winds in the forest begin to pick up. And you feel the forest actually begin to kind of mix around you. And one of the like insect creature immediately kind of like looks around and kind of like works its way through the forest.
Okay, I'm gonna just start like following in behind it.
Okay. You feel a little slower too here, Zummyar, as you're kind of trudging through. You feel yourself like a little bit heavier, stalked through, a little bit
Okay.
denser in your step.
Well, that's fine. I'll keep following. I want to see where this bug is taking me.
You wander through here. Immediately, as you are going through, the winds kind of pick up, and you see the bug manifest into the yellow-skinned creature staring right at you. Puts a hand out. What are you doing right now?
Does that kind of like snap me back?
Just to them, like now they've manifested and become part of your reality at this moment. Yeah.
I was just seeing where the bug was taking me.
I'm the bug. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. This is very frustrating right now. So I need
Oh,
you to
whoa,
understand.
whoa, whoa.
Do you need me to start
Sorry.
talking to you about the whole concept again that we're not actually feel the winds kind of pick
No.
around?
No, fuck. Yeah, sorry. I don't know what happened somewhere along the way. I got really roped into this. This is right. I'm creating this. Okay. We're good. I'm back.
Great. Now where
I
are we
think.
going?
Well, shit, I was gonna say we keep following the bug, but apparently you're the bug. That's kind of what I did around here. I'd hang out, I'd play the flute, I'd follow the animals, I'd talk to them.
Fucking Disney princess.
I didn't have a lot of friends around here. It was just kind of me and my family. We left hoping for kind of better things, but I do miss this. I can't lie.
I understand you lived a very passive life before where you weren't even a product of your own existence. So I need you to drop into your own reality now and make it not that, because otherwise we'll be here for millennia.
Okay. Okay.
You got this. Harder than it looks, doesn't it? Isn't it?
I'm just gonna go back and I'm gonna try to think about the most important moment I've had in my very recent life, which was when I was dropped from the Bonneview Monastery into the middle of the forest, and I met a few people, being Richard and Anki and Naviri, and yeah, I'm gonna try to focus on that and get myself into like a different moment
Okay.
if I can get
Okay,
myself out of
related to
this.
that concept. Good. Make a charisma saving throw and intelligence saving throw.
Cool. Two things I'm very bad at.
You got this.
What
Don't
does that
jinx it.
say? Charisma is 18. That's actually good.
Mm.
Intelligence is 3.
Woo!
Gonna be a lot of this. All right.
I'm gonna be like, hey guys, how's it going?
And that is exactly what happens as you like, okay, I'm gonna remember I'm making this. Wait, I can make this. I'll go back to the happiest moment that I remember when we like fought a bunch of guys
Well, we
in the
all met.
woods. And you see standing in front a massive, heavy, dense warforged, like bulked out creature, heavy shield, heavy armaments, a tall wood elf, a 450-pound sorcerer, not stitched apart, not torn apart, not eating a lot of bodies yet, but and then you also have the those four actually. Nyxi and Faelyn, you guys are not really kind of present at this moment in this first meeting. You hear Enki goes, "Hey man, how's it going?
Hmm.
Hey,
Hey,
this is how did we get here?
huh? Heck if I know, man. I just came around here and just started finding some oil for myself. And you see him just pouring oil into his chainmail armor, getting it
So
all
like
mixed
fryer
up.
grease.
Yeah, man. I just found this oil lying all around here. Oh, man.
Oh, geez.
Give me a second here. I'm just going to rub it down here.
Where's?
And he starts rubbing it right down in his crotch area.
Oh, okay. I just turn away and I go up to
Yeah.
Richard and I give him one of these.
Hey, what's up, big fella? What's up, big fella?
Hey, this is
Hey, brother.
this is nice. We're just hanging out. This is nice.
Yeah.
Where's Naviri? Naviri's around here?
I'm right fucking here, man. I'm right. You
Oh,
guys are
geez,
not paying
sorry.
attention to anything we're doing right now. Okay, like
No,
seriously. Like, god damn it.
no, I'm not. Sorry, I got wrapped. It's just look, it's a beautiful day. We're all together. I'm just
You just
yeah,
see
this is good.
Nyxi and Faelyn. You just see the other person just like right now sitting on a rock, just really frustrated at this moment.
There were some bandits, right? That's what we're
Oh yeah,
bandits,
dude,
right?
we
That's what
killed
we're
them right
doing.
over there, and I like ate one of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh
brother.
yeah, yeah, right. That feels like it should bother me, but for some reason, I feel like I'm used to that.
Oh, you didn't kill any of them. You're fine.
Well, I know I didn't kill any of them. I remember holding one and someone
Well,
Hey,
killed it.
hey, dude, it's totally okay, man. It's totally okay. You don't have to worry about anything right now. We're here with you.
You guys are here with me.
Yeah. Hey, dude, check this out. And then and he just reveals his massive metal cock. Just like, all right.
Enki, put it away. This is,
Richard's like,
oh
hey,
my
I can do
God.
that too. Well, bam.
I just look at Naviri very uncomfortably.
Naviri's just like, oh goodness.
Why? Why do they do this? Why are they so comfortable with this? I don't get it. Am I the weird one because I feel weird about this?
This goes on for kind of a little bit, dropping in at this moment, and you see Naviri it just like talking to you. Zummyar is like, you know what? I mean, it just like I keep asking myself like, what's the best course of action to do it? And I feel as if I let them do it, and if I don't say anything, then I'm enabling it. Like I need to just say no, Richard, no, Enki, and she says no, and they put their cocks back.
See, I'm not good at that. I'm not good at the authority. I'm good at just like kind of doing my own thing.
Oh, you think I'm good at it? You think I'm good at this? Like,
Yes, you're terrifying.
that doesn't mean I like doing it. I don't want to do it. I'm just with a bunch of you guys who don't want to do any of this.
I don't know. A lot of the times it feels like you want it.
Okay. Hey, Zummyar, no, I don't want to do it.
See?
No, I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it at all.
Whatever you say.
All right. Well, hey, look, we're gonna try to find somewhere to get like resting up for the evening. We want to try to find somewhere right now.
Yeah, are we just gonna leave the dead bodies here, or like is Richard gonna eat them, or
I already ate some of it. I feel pretty good.
okay, okay. Um,
Do you want me to eat more of it? I can do that.
no, well, do whatever you want. I can't control you. Um, so we need to find somewhere where Richard's allowed, first of all.
Well,
Can
where
be
the heck
hard
is
to do
that
around
gonna be?
here. Yeah, I don't know. He might have to sleep outside again.
Okay.
I
All
feel
right.
like he's
Well,
gotten used to it.
fine. All right. Let's go then. Let's find somewhere Richard will be allowed to be Richard.
Yeah, let's go.
Zummyar. Do
Jaunty
creating the
little stroll,
like creating like the
travel
Beatles
montage.
song. Yeah. Da, 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 da. So we're walking down in the woods where I find a place where rich can be richer. It's like a Don't Hug Me I'm Scared video where just like all of a
Yeah.
sudden you just turn back and you just see
Richard
like
just eating people in the background constantly.
Oh, it's Richard over there. I'm hungry. Ah. I miss my grandma. Zummyar, I'm gonna ask you, where do you think a place that would accept Richard would be?
The first place I think about is I can't remember the name of the place, but Boris's Tavern. I know that he's not allowed there, but he'll sleep outside in the shed.
Oh, the Shadows Retreat.
The Shadows Retreat. There we go.
Yeah.
I know that Boris doesn't like him, but
go ahead once again, make another charisma saving throw and intelligence saving throw. And the intelligence is with disadvantage.
this is not going well.
Good luck.
It's going great.
It's a disadvantage.
Charisma's 8 and intelligence is 6.
Good job.
This moment, Zummyar, you start to come back to your position where you are not just your assuredness and confidence in that, you're grounded, you feel grounded. You start to go back and regress to that part of yourself that was passive and was not super confident in a lot of yourself. You start to go back to that moment where Naviri is leading the group almost, and you want her to, and your perception of this is still very much that it's in a reality, and it becomes so real that you just kind of begin to move next to Richard, see if Richard needs anything. You're putting a lot of people before yourself here.
Yeah. I'd say I almost just get like real quiet then and just kind of like fade into the background as we're traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Homer Simpson into the bushes.
Into the bush, yeah.
It's funny that as you do that, you're kind of like matching the distance where Nyxi and Faelyn come through. In this moment where you don't, again, not really perceiving them. You see Faelyn is addressing everyone at the tavern. You see she's talking to Boris. Richard's going off to the shed, and he's asking for some more grease that he can lather himself all up in.
Grease? Did you mean Naviri?
Naviri, yes. Sorry, yeah, Naviri.
Sorry, I was confused for a second. I'm like, oh, wow,
Naviri's talking
like
to a person.
multitasking here.
And you don't hear what they're saying, so you're just fully on this moment where you're just like completely out from this experience. Nyxi and Faelyn, you immediately see the person that is guiding you through this. She is like, I don't know what. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know about all of you, but this is not going to lend itself well for us here.
Kind of like look up at her and go look at them and go, That's it. Just kind of dazed, but like starting to kind of come back to reality. And just, what?
Looks at you, Faelyn, just kind of only addresses you at this moment.
Rude.
I'm feeling as if there's a desire to travel to places. I feel as if we're getting a lot of self-indulgence here and a lot of an inability to understand what the necessity and the need is.
Are you asking us to heal our trauma? Our core beliefs?
Walks away. She walks away.
That's not wrong answer. Yeah.
We need to get your friend back into the actual goals to finding an actual journey throughout this. Because if he's just going to be staying here, again, we are going to be stuck here for a long time.
What can I do?
Can I just say Nyxi kind of is starting to look around a little bit and she spots Naviri and she just like perks up a little bit and kind of just starts waddling towards her a little bit, slowly making her way. Without you guys even seeing me, I'm just like.
What needs to happen here is the transition needs to be with a more focused aim. You need to be able to understand that we need something that is a clear path to a actual destination, and this just seems as if there's nothing here. So if you feel as if you can find a spot for you to intercept and make a connection to take the control of it, you couldn't do that, but I don't see much to work with here.
And then Nyxi gets to Naviri and goes, Naviri? What are you doing here?
Nyxi, I need you to make an intelligence save and a charisma save.
Sweet. Intelligence. That's my life. It does. Well, that's not actually that bad. 14, and then charisma is a 15.
You come into this moment and you make yourself known, and you're fully aware that this is a vision, that this is a perception, this is not true reality at this moment, as you see the image of Naviri kind of look towards you and addresses you as a member of the Fuckstick Fuckers, not as a stranger, not as hostile. She's like, Nyxi, I'm really trying to figure this out. Like, is this guy here? He's trying to rag on us right now for like coming through this place, and like, I'm just trying to get us inside. I'm just trying to get us to relax. Like, that's it.
Just look up at the guy. Why are you causing so many problems?
What are you talking about?
Well, we're just here to sleep, eat, and be on our merry way.
Yeah, and right now I don't have the room for you. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you do. Trying to bend reality.
No, you're not saying that to me, all right? I'm trying to tell you that I don't have the room. I'm occupied.
Look at your paper. Look at your paper. It says you have room.
What are you talking about? There's no paper in this.
You see Zummyar passively again. You just see Nyxi's totally beefing around with Boris at this moment. Faded in the back space. Faelyn, what are you doing in this moment?
Well, Faelyn's trying to figure out what the fuck. So apparently her guess was wrong. So Faelyn is thinking about what Nyxi went through. And so she figures, okay, maybe I'm supposed to do the same kind of thing. Because she's watched the pattern of what Nyxi and Zummyar has had to do. So Faelyn kind of shrugs her shoulders and starts imagining herself where she'd feel safe and happy in her past. And see what happens.
Are you going to try to attempt to take control away from Zummyar here?
Yes.
Or are you... Here's a big question. Are you doing this in complete isolation away from everyone else?
No. I'm expecting... Well, it's not my intention. My assumption and intention is to take control and take everybody with me.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to work.
All right. Make a charisma saving throw and an intelligence saving throw.
Okay. Charisma is 6. Intelligence 10.
Okay. Here is what happens.
Boom.
You are standing basically right with Zummyar at a distance. Zummyar, you are present now in seeing Faelyn. In a weird way, Zummyar, Faelyn, you have an understanding that this is not reality. However, you are more shaky, and in terms of where you're standing with yourself, in your that moment of you not understanding what this is really and what the point of all this is, has put you on very unsure ground. And Zummyar, you see Faelyn here as like this kind of like young elf who is inexperienced and confused, standing right next to you. And you can feel as if there's like a shared bond here.
Wait, do I know it's Faelyn, or is it just like young elf lady standing beside me?
I would say she has not made enough of a strong impression to be considered a member of the Fuckstick Fuckers. But here's the thing. You've also distanced yourself from the Fuckstick Fuckers right now. So you're both just two individuals. Faelyn, you know that is a Zummyar.
Yeah.
I think it would. I wouldn't like engage in conversation or anything because I'm just feeling kind of awkward. I'm just like kind of standing there, just like, you know, when you look at someone and you're like, they're uncomfortable right now. Like that's kind of how Zummyar looks. He's just chilling. But I think feeling that somebody kind of almost feels like they are feeling the same makes him a little less uncomfortable. He's not the only one in this situation. But I still don't really know what to do. I feel like I'm just he's just having a socially awkward moment.
Psychosocial awkward moment. And Phelan's just trying this thing and see what happens.
Okay. The two people in charge of this passage in terms of instructing this reality in its path stand passively here. Nyxi, you and Naviri are still going on about this whole like, no, I did not put a sign up for you here. There's nothing for you. There's no. I told you.
I see a sign right there. It says
no, that is not the sign. Oh my goodness!
You use your eyeballs because I don't. Just saying.
Is there any way for me to like shake myself out of this at all, or am I just like this is real?
Well, the thing is that you are not pursuing anything at the moment. You have allowed you've allowed Naviri to take full control. And as far as your reality stands, Naviri is the one in control, and this is your own reality. And unfortunately, in the position you've put yourself in, this form of reality has made you docile in a way that it's like, it's not even docile. It's like you're back at a place where you are want for inspiration, and there's not much that you are pulling from these early moments. Like, go ahead and make, I'm going to say, go ahead and make an insight check.
Okay. Natural 20.
Nice.
So a total of 27.
Here's what happens for you, Zummyar. In this moment of passivity, you do the one thing that you really excel at, which is really going into personal locking forms of meditation. And something kind of dawns on you here. But this is the interesting thing. It dawns on you in this very weird reality of your early life with the FSF. Your early days with them was a lot of making things happen, and a lot of, like, you see the moments where Richard and, I'll say it's the present moment, you see this, you see Nyxi and Naviri engaging with Boris in this moment of like tension and the social tension, making things occur here that don't necessarily come as a planned response. You go back to the moment when Richard and Enki bathed in a fountain. You go back to when, I believe it was Richard was doing a bunch of like loose teeth drugs and passing it around for the homies. You go back to the moment where you struck a merchant in the head.
Great.
You go back to the moments when you guys were pursuing and when you killed a monk deep in a mine with a basilisk in it. You go through these moments and moments of just all of you in a world that was uninteresting to you, in a world that didn't even compare to the intrigue, and where without your moments, without that trauma that you had, in this weird way, you were more active when you were facing opposition than when you weren't. And you reflect on this strange moment for yourself. You reflect on a moment of when you were at the monastery, a moment when you were put in a position where enlightenment and action were one and the same. You needed to be active in order to achieve a sense of self and strength. And now you look at that philosophy and you just kind of see it's bullshit. And it doesn't lead to anything. It doesn't lead you to a deeper sense of self. You are simply being. And there is nothing wrong with you standing and sitting here doing nothing. You could just do that and wait for the innkeeper to let you go somewhere else, find somewhere else to sleep, and that would be fine. Because you don't need this perceived sense of action to make your life matter. And yet action is also what your group has been based on this whole time. Not by anyone else's hand, but by your own. You've put yourselves in situations where you've had to act and where you wanted to act.
Well, I'm just going to take a look, see Nyxi and Naviri going at it with Boris. Look at my other friends that are around, Richard and Enki, and just remember that these are that this is my reality, no matter where I am. These people that I become so close with are what has shaped my reality, what's created my reality for a really long time. And then as long as I have them, everything's okay. And I'm just going to go up to them at the bar, whatever they're doing, talking to Boris. Just give Nyxi a little hair tussle. Say Naviri, it's fine. If he doesn't have a place, he doesn't have a place. We'll figure something else out tonight. We always do.
But he's being.
Yeah, Boris is a dick. We know that.
I'm right here. What are you talking about?
You're a dick.
I remember he used to be such a dick.
I'm a dick because the rest of you need something to antagonize you, and the rest, fuck it. All right, fine. I'll get you some drinks. Goodness gracious. And he goes off in the back area. Zummyar, you, in a weird way, feel you feel a level of control in this space that is different. You're still slow wandering around here. You're not fully grounded in the self, really, but what you are is aware of the circumstance. And you're aware of that in this inactivity, that this is your life. This is truly a reality and a dream. This is a desire and a hope that when the barkeep comes out and gives the grease to Enki, he will be able to lather himself up, and there is no shame and there is no view of like wasting time or doing actions that are tedious. When you see Richard just talking to some guy's wife in the back corner, knowing full well he is going to cuck him, it's not foolishness. It's not, stupidity. It's who these people are. And you see it truly. And it's a weird way where you're perceiving, if you were aware that you were in a vision, you would tie this together. But for yourself, you are more in tune now with your own history than you were before. And you know it's fine. Now, you guys were outside before, and you controlled this moment where you're now at the bar. But again, to you, you just got in there. You just showed up, and you got in at some point, and that's it. You didn't perceive that you just went there. I'm going to let you know. In this moment, Faelyn, you have tried to come through here, and now you are back in a passive perception. You don't have the control that you tried to exert. However, you are still sharing this with Zummyar. I'm going to have you make an intelligence check as well, or an insight check as well.
Okay.
And I'll say it's with advantage.
All right, thank you.
Woo-hoo.
Insight coming up. I should have this memorized by now. There we go.
Insight.
Hey.
Healing.
13 on the insight.
You're not on this level, I think, of understanding. You see the actions kind of around here, and while you are active, you're still passive on that outside. Something's keeping you outside, and that outsideness, while you're aware that this is a false reality, but it feels so real to Nyxi and so real to Zummyar, and there's something that's disconnecting. Something is not grounding you.
It's like I know something's wrong, but I can't do anything about it.
You know something is wrong, and you see as you're pondering, you see the light of the moon kind of come through on the out end. A silvery light kind of coming in through the inside of the tavern or the inn. At this moment, the figure, the guide has been with you, comes through, checks himself in at the bar, and is like, I'm all for wanting to actually explore and take the time to reminisce on all of this, but I feel as if it is time for us to depart. What do you say?
He's saying this to me?
Yes, and Zummyar, I'm going to tell you what
Okay.
the rest of that nat 20 gets you. You look at this individual who is at the opposite end of the bar, distancing himself far away from them. Someone who's just come in through here that is just interrupting kind of this whole atmosphere. You notice this individual reminds you of someone. You don't know who, really, but somewhere you remember. You remember someone who forced you into committing an action, and when that action was not taken, committed violence against you and destroyed you all. You remember they didn't do it alone. There was something else with them. You track back and go, wait a minute. I was on a mountain of fire. And then you lock in on this person. This person is actively wanting you to go deeper and deeper to your reality. And you see, they have not made manifest. You see two swords behind them. Zummyar, I want you to make a nature check with advantage or an arcana check with advantage.
Okie dokie, artichoke. They're up. Those are very good. We'll go 13 on nature.
13. Okay.
Pretty piss poor roll.
You see before you a creature that is not of a nature of the material world nor a nature of the Fae. This is a creature who's manifested themselves in a reality that is not of their own. This creature is a Gith. And a Gith is a creature that is they're a creature that exists and lives in the worlds beyond that of the possible mortal realms. They live here because their actions and their potentials go beyond the needs of the material world. Really, what they need from the material world is to age. These are creatures that come to the material world so that they can grow up. They don't stay long because for some reason they don't want to. Something just doesn't, stay with them when they're there. But you recognize this as a Gith, and more specifically, you recognize this as a Gith Yankee. There are two types of Giths. There's different little tweaks and subsections of titles and stations that you don't really understand, but this is a Gith Yankee. Opposed to a Gith Zerai. A Gith Yankee is an individual that grows up to be a warrior. So what you have here now is an individual who is a warrior who is pushing you to action and is pushing you to make a choice, to get out of this place, to get away and dive deeper into realities and diving deeper or finding somewhere that has a purpose. Your sense is that this warrior wants you to actively explore your reality more. And with that, I want you to make a charisma saving throw and an intelligence save again.
Just straight rolls on both?
Straight rolls on both.
Okay, it's 17 charisma and 10 intelligence.
You perceive, Zummyar, that you are not... What is around you is a desire. This is your dream. This is a hope. This is what you want. Peace with your friends here. This person has pulled you out of your dream to make you see that it's not real. Their presence has made you do this. I'm going to ask you, Zummyar, as you ground yourself in your confidence, allowing yourself to come into this moment, I want you to tell me, what does confidence look like for Zummyar when someone else takes away their dream to be with their friends? When someone gets in the way of you enjoying your time with your friends, what does Zummyar in a confident state look like?
I don't think Zummyar has a lot of confidence just in himself in general. Like he doesn't feel like socially confident or anything of the case, but he feels confident in having like a sole purpose and being determined towards that purpose. So it's kind of just like if he's locked on, it's now I this is my time with my friends and I made this time with my friends. Like no one's gonna take that away from me. So it's just that's where the confidence comes from is this is what I decided and this is what I'm doing. It's a determination and a purpose more than a confidence per se, I guess.
Okay. If that's the case, this individual sees this element of you stand and they express one more time and says, so where are we off to now?
None of this is real. I think I understand. We're creating we went with Nyxi to where she felt safe. We went with me to where I felt safe. But we're not going to reality. We're going to dreams. We're going to ideals. We need we need reality. We need exactly where we were when we all died.
Then take us there.
Take us
I
back.
just walk in on that moment when we were trying to sneak through that town. Everything went to shit. Obviously, I didn't see the end of it. I was the first one gone. But right up to the moment where I croaked, there was three guys around me. They killed me. And remembering the feeling of falling in battle, essentially.
If that's the case, I think that's the perfect place for us to pick up next time. And hey, now Zummyar and Padon gets to be present at that moment now. Hey.
That moment where I wasn't there and I died, that one?
Yeah, that one. Holy shit.
I gotta remember the name of who killed me.
Described it really well.
Interesting.
Like, grab my notebook and I'm like, I'm finding the moment where he died. All I remember is Faelyn. You and I were right beside each other, and then we went, whoop, and I went. Anyways, perfect representation.
Oh well.
Dordo. Oh, remember Dordo, guys?
Interesting.
Hello, it's me, Dordo.
Dordo.
Hello. I give you a hug now.
Wasn't Dordo a furbolg?
Yeah, the furball. I wrote it in red. The
Yeah,
furball.
oh my god. Yeah, you made us look bad.
Dordo.
Dordo.
Hello. I'm Dordo. Oh my
He
god.
was with the guy that we fucking he was Arn? Was that his name?
Arn and Dordo, yeah.
Yeah.
Why do I have a note
Arn
that
tried
says
to kill
Penelope
us.
interested in Zummyar? Who is Penelope again? I need to write down people and where it came from. Penelope's interested in Zummyar. Large gray one.
Large gray one.
Large gray
I am the large gray one, yes.
The legend of the large gray one.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Oh
Brief.
man.
Sounds of bells, hoisted doors. I think I'm getting close because this is the Black Sun.
Well,
Lord Sidious.
I think I'm moving to BC.
What?
Really?
Finally?
Excuse me?
Congrats.
No, I'm
I
just
know you've
saying
been
that. I'm
wanting to
just
go
saying that because the UCP are winning this election in kind of a landslide.
Oh my god. What?
God.
The seats right now are 53 to 34, and like obviously all the votes aren't in, but 44 seats is a majority.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 53 to 34, and 44 is majority. It's well,
We like
Edmonton's
want
completely. We live in Orange County, that's for sure.
Okay.
Edmonton's completely orange.
Yeah,
Calgary's like
my
half
dad.
and half, and then the rural is just straight blue.
Great. Yeah.
Other than Fort McMurray for some reason, which seems wrong.
My
The uneducated tend to go that way.
yeah, my dad told me that was basically going to be kind of the thing where it was like Edmonton was going to go straight orange. I'm
Yep.
check out the
It's
test.
fully orange.
Wow.
Except for my fucking riding, because I'm Sherwood Park / Strathcona, so it's far enough out in the damn country.
Right.
Hey, so miss you, Sherwood Park. If you guys are
Found
not
it.
tuning in,
Sherwood
we had
Park
election
riding is
day.
technically orange.
Guys, I
We got
found
election
it.
day,
It's right at the top. It says Nyxi died. Found it.
Nyxi died.
Nyxi
That was a long
died.
time ago.
Good job.
Zummyar is in what we saw. We thought you were in Celestia, but that's because
No, I
Liam
was
kind of
basically
like led us
purgatory.
astray.
I didn't
Less-
lead you astray.
Because we all thought he was there.
Yeah,
And
because
then-
Richard
think
said, "Oh,
Richard probably-
yeah."
Yeah, I guarantee Richard just went, he's in Celestia, and then
he did, and we all rolled with it.
The tape is
Yeah.
literally up. The tape is literally up on YouTube. If you guys want to listen to it,
Yeah.
it's literally up. Like, go listen to the Fuckstick Fuckers on YouTube, everybody. There's a plug, and you will find out that Richard thought that Zummyar was in Mount Celestia because he gave him a doll because he thought it was a doll from his grandma from a very long ago backstory thing that we wrote, and he gave him this doll and was like, "Oh, this means that he's in Mount Celestia now because that's how it fucking works." Yes.
No, I went to like a weird purgatory.
Guys
You were
want to
kind of
see? I
like
used to write.
Purgatory, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to write like important information in red, and one of them was damage.
That's funny.
It's a lot of damage.
Damage after damage, and then Nyxi died. Just damage.
I just remember, because I remember not being there. And I remember Ben texted me and was like, you should try to get online as quick as you can. Like, shit's going down.
Yep.
And I went, is Zummyar dead? And he went, no, not yet. And then 2 minutes later, he texted me and went, yeah, Zummyar's dead.
Yeah.
But then he immediately goes, but I think we're all going to die.
Aw, look at this. It's like right before we all died and before the battle. Zummyar is helping Nyxi climb a tree for lookout. That's so cute. And then we die later.
And then we all died. Isn't
Yeah.
that nice?
Isn't that cute?
And then I fell out of the tree and pounced on a man. I remember that.
Like a flying squirrel.
That was when Gremlin Nyxi was at the like peak Gremlin moments.
That was peak gremlin. I was jumping, and I kept climbing back in the tree and kept jumping on everybody. You guys went into like this long grass or something, and I just kept climbing this tree and kept stabbing people over and over and over again. Yeah, good times, guys. Good times.
It's kind of fitting that you know Zummyar's consciousness goes to that because it's literally going to be like the 1 year anniversary of like when you guys died almost.
I was going to say, I think it's been like a year.
Mm-hmm.
Days. But but we only play once every like 2 weeks, right? So
Yeah, so it's like honestly, you guys are basically playing the equivalent of like what half a year would be for a normal game, but it's like, you know, we do the bi-weekly stuff, so
yeah.
so everyone can come and play.
Yep.
Mhm. Chapel is crossed off. Oh yeah, I gained back the map, which was bloodied because I lost the map, and then that's why they attacked this poor underground village. And it literally says the chapel is crossed out, meaning that they already, you know, been there.
Yeah, but did you say something?
Who?
Did you say something? I thought
No.
you added. Okay, I thought you said DM, and I'm like, yes.
Oh,
That's me?
no. No.
I have an alchemist kit, a gun, my whole tool belt. Carver is dead. Who's Carver?
Oh yeah, Carver was the guy who was like going to torture you.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. And you guys killed him because he did actually torture me. I remember that. The bastard. I remember that.
Yeah,
And that's where the stuff back. Right.
My
Yeah, we pretended to be Lord Sidious
General Grievous.
and General Grievous.
And then Dark
and-
Sidious, like Richard changed in when he was like in the actual place.
Yeah.
It's like very good.
And then
Mine
Nyxi just
is
knocks on the door.
Yeah, because Richard was General Grievous and I was Lord Sidious.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Nyxi just went, hello, right at the front fucking
Yeah.
door.
Yeah, and you were just like, are my friends in there?
It's like, yes.
My moment was extremely clear because my last word was my hand up in front of Richard saying no. And then I died. Little fucker.
Yeah.
No.
And then Richard was like, Morris, drink this.
Richard,
Hail,
no,
you're not. Just
don't do it. Kaboom.
Like,
And you started breathing fire all over.
I think we can keep reminiscing here. I'm just going to end up the recording here and say thank you to
Good
everyone
night,
who's
everybody.
listening
Yep.
to this. Yeah, so I'm just going to end the recording quickly, but we can keep reminiscing. So
Yeah, do it.
everyone take care. Enjoy your demons. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Love you all so very much.
Bye.